Hey guys, so I'm back with another video. A couple days I put out a poll after I finished this book asking if anybody would be interested in hearing my thoughts on it because my rating, and quite a few people said yes, even though I had already kind of planned in my head. Even if people say no, I'm still gonna make it anyways. So here it is, since you wanted it and I wanted to film it anyways. I'm going to be doing a book talk over Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. This probably sounds very familiar because it was very, very popular on BookTube a couple of years ago. It's still very popular, and now there's some controversy going over this book. If you have been on my channel for any length of time, you do know that I am not a big contemporary fan. I don't really like to read it. I find contemporaries pretty boring, except for when I'm in the mood for them. I read a lot of fantasy and, stuff like that. The controversy with this book is when it first came out, because this was really popular when I first started doing videos, probably back around 4 years ago. And everybody loved it. It's a cutesy little contemporary set in Paris, and we follow our main character Anna, who is basically kind of shipped off by her dad to this prestigious boarding school in Paris. And it's her senior year of high school as well, so she's having problems adjusting, and she is befriended by a group of students who've been there since their freshman year. They show her around Paris and help her out. Also, there is some romance that springs up between her and one of the guys in this group. When it first came out, everybody loved this book, was talking about how cute it was. Everybody has the main guy character as their perfect book boyfriend type of guy. And now that it's been a couple of years and people have started rereading it or reading it, now that a portion of the booktubing community is older, a lot of us are in our 20s, if not older. There are not as many people in their early teens, I don't think, at least not that I follow. Most of the people I follow and interact with are around my age. And now that people are reading it, there's become some controversy coming out over some of the things that have gone in this book. And I want to let you know this is not going to be a positive review, so if you don't want to listen to it, then please click off this video. And I want to disclaim, because this has been a thing that's been going around on BookTube lately, a lot of people have been talking about hate reading books, which I did not hate read this book. I was genuinely interested in seeing my opinion on it, especially it takes place in Paris, and I enjoy contemporaries that are centered abroad or centered around traveling. And since it had come so highly praised, I decided I wanted to give it a chance. And then the other thing people have been really complaining about, especially with Zenith, is hate reviews to get more popular, get more views, more subscribers. I am not posting this review to get more popular or anything. Honestly, I doubt a lot of people are going to watch this video because hardly anybody watches book talks anyways. I am doing this because people were interested in hearing my views on why I gave this book 1 star, and I wanted to share my opinion about it. I'm not going to really do a spoiler-free section for this. I guess all you really need to know for non-spoiler is, it's set in Paris, American students, and cheating. There's so much cheating in this book. So there you go. Now I'm going to jump into some other stuff and spoilers and stuff, so goodbye for those of you who don't want to stick around or haven't read it. My biggest problem with this book is cheating, and that is one thing a lot of people have talked about recently, is the cheating in this book. And I thought maybe it would be one instance of cheating, because sometimes that comes up. I recently read a book that I actually really enjoyed in December that is a Peter Pan retelling, and there was one instance of cheating and it really did bother me, but that was it. Almost this entire book is emotional cheating, and I know there are people out there that don't think emotional cheating is cheating, but personally for me, and for some other people I've talked to, they consider emotional cheating cheating. Any form of cheating is cheating, and personally, coming from somebody who has been cheated on, that is just so shitty. I listened to this on audiobook actually. Just listening to it unfold, it pissed me off so much, but I was interested to see where this was gonna go. So we follow Anna and Etienne St. Clair, and Etienne has had a girlfriend for the better part of a year and a half, and she's off at college while he's still in high school, and him and Anna hit it off and they're friends, and then suddenly they start developing feelings for each other, and there's just a whole bunch of emotional cheating, and they know, and I just couldn't deal with it through the entire book. It just pissed me off more and more. And I do believe there is an instance towards the end where they do actually cheat. I believe she kisses him. She's definitely grinding up on him in a club, and one of the girlfriend's friends catches them, and so that sets off a whole thing. they try to play off this emotional cheating by Etienne saying that things haven't really been happening between him and Ellie for a long time, and he hasn't broken up with her because he's not ready for change, and you know, all the other crap that goes down in the book, especially with his mom having cancer and, you know, going through that. And it's like, just because things weren't right doesn't mean it was okay for you to cheat. And especially when you realize you were like really falling for this girl, you should have ended things with Ellie, because that's a really shitty thing for you to do on your part, and it's a really shitty thing for Anna to do on her part, especially since she knew you had a girlfriend. The cheating was just so much and so irritating, and just watching it unfold, I'm like, how do people think this is a great book? I guess people just didn't pick up on the cheating originally reading it, but like, it was so shitty and it pissed me off, and especially where things start having their emotional meltdown. I felt Anna acted very childish and didn't handle things well, and neither did he. Neither of them handled this very well. It comes to a point where Anna gets fed up with it and tells Etienne, like, why are you still with her? Like, you like me? Like, he's already confessed he loved her at some other point in the book. And it's like, but you're still with her, and I don't understand why. And, like, you know, we go when we do these things. And basically they've been going on dates, partially, and, like, exploring the city. And I'm just like... And then there's the whole instance over Thanksgiving where they're the only two people there. And he stays the night in her bed with her. And, like... Boys and girls stay the night over at people's places all the time. That's fine. It becomes a problem when they're in bed together. I mean, they didn't have sex, so like they didn't go that far. But they're in bed together, and he has a girlfriend, and they know they like each other, and like there was like one point where he was like on top of her. I think he was like trying to get in the bed, and she was like making all these references, and it was just like, do they just like not stop and think about like what's going on and like how much this is gonna like hurt Ellie in the long run, and especially since she has no idea any of this crap is going on. It was just so irritating. For me, I didn't really like Anna. In the beginning I kind of did, but then towards the end I didn't, because I just felt she was so childish about a lot of things. It was just so annoying, and like especially when she went home for Christmas and found out her best friend was now dating the guy she was supposedly interested in, which I totally saw coming, by the way. And the whole blow up she has, and then not talking to her friend. And I'm just like, yeah, you were talking to him, but like at the same time, obviously he wasn't very interested in you. And you really think he was gonna sit around and wait for you till you got back from France? It would be different if they had already like kind of been going on dates and kind of like establishing a relationship, and then, you know, like, are we gonna like be monogamous to each other while I'm over there? There was no conversation like that. The only thing that happened is like he kissed her on her last day of work, and they like Skyped and stuff, but like it was never stated that what are we, like, are we gonna be a thing? And it's like, you shouldn't have been mad that like he went with your best friend. Like, I mean, yeah, it was kind of shitty of your best friend to do that and then not tell you about it until you found out like on accident, basically. Also, another thing I kind of saw coming was his mother gets cancer. I was just like, really? Cancer? Like, really? I feel like I've read so many YA contemporary novels that have cancer as some type of like plot point thing, and it's just so annoying, and I'm like, why are we doing this? And then just the fact that the author gave the mother cancer was a way to like make Etienne not want to have change in his life, and that's another reason why he said he stayed with Ellie, was because his mom had cancer and he needed something that wasn't changing in his life. I mean, I get you want to have that support, but wouldn't you also get that support from your friends? And I'm sure even if you broke up with Ellie, like, she would still be there to support you even if she wasn't your girlfriend anymore. If not, she was probably a really shitty friend and girlfriend. Just saying. There was something that didn't quite make sense in this, and it's the fact that, of course, Anna is going to school with a bunch of students that come from very, very rich families, and, you know, like one guy, I believe that she's friends with, his dad is like a congressman or something like that, so she's obviously going to school with people who are very, very well off. And although her dad makes quite a decent amount of money from his books that have been turned into movies and whatnot, which I don't even understand why he would suddenly think, like, sending your daughter off. I mean, I wouldn't object to going to freaking Paris, like, send me on over. I'll enjoy myself. But I can see where she was very hesitant, especially being her senior year and, like, not ever being out of the country before then. I don't even know if she had ever left Atlanta before this. You know, it's a bit hesitant, but at the same time, why would her dad think it was a good idea to send her to Paris just on a whim? Like, couldn't you have found a better private school, like, within the States that probably wouldn't have cost you so much money? But anyways, one of the things is there is a scene, because her dad gives her an allowance, because obviously she's on a student visa, therefore she cannot work while she's over there. So her dad gives her, like, a weekly allowance of, like, how much you can spend. And she goes out to eat quite frequently, apparently, with her friends. And she always seems to be ordering off the cheapest thing off the menu, trying to conserve money and everything. And there's at one point where she tells her dad, like, tries to ask him to give her more money so she can, you know, go out more with them and do other things. And he tells her, no, you need to learn to live within your means, which I completely understand. When I was in Spain last spring, you know, I had to really decide, like, do I need to buy this? Do I need to order the most expensive thing off the menu? Like, do I need to go on this trip? Which, I mean, I went on almost every trip, but, you know, it's whatever. So I definitely understand living within your means. She can't go around spending money wildly, but then she discovers the movie theaters and that they play films in English, and she is wanting to be a big film critic, and so she runs, like, a film critic blog and reviews other things. So she finds out about this, and then all of a sudden she starts going to the movies. And while she's going to the movies, she's not going, like, once a week. She's going, like, 3 to 4 times a week, if not more, to watch the movies, take notes, and, like, write blog posts about it. And to me, I don't know how it is in Paris, but movie tickets are pretty expensive here in the States. Like, you can pay anywhere from, like, $12 to, like, $15, depending on what movie you're seeing, what, like, dimension it's in. Like, if it's a normal movie, it's a 3D movie. If you get those, like, special, like, D-box seats that, like, move and whatnot, you can pay a pretty penny for that. So movies are expensive, and I would assume they're expensive in Europe, over in Europe as well, especially if you do the conversion of euros to American dollars, because, you know, the euro is more than the American dollar, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. But then she's suddenly going to the movies all the freaking time, and I'm like, where are you getting this money? Because Dad said he wasn't giving you any more money, and you can't work, and we haven't been given any information that you're, like, working in, like, an under-the-table type of job. So I was just like, that's obviously not living within your means if you're going to the movies all the time. And I'm like, I get it, you want to, like, continue up what you've been doing, which is great, but, like, do you really need to go to the movies that often, especially if you're supposed to be there, like, focusing on studying and other stuff? And I really hate that this book deals with slut shaming as well. Like, after her and Etienne, like, break things off or whatever, because he's still with Ellie, and she goes to this other guy, I think his name's, like, David, and then he basically tells everybody that they slept together, and everybody's slut shaming her. I'm like, that is awful. And just the girl-on-girl hate is horrible as well. I do have to say, there's a girl, and I can't remember her name, who's, like, the big instigator about the girl hate, and she, like, always gives Anna shit. And, you know, then she starts going after Anna's friend, Meredith, and she calls Meredith a cunt, which, personally, I don't have very clean language, and, you know, it's just whatever, it's part of who I am. But I personally hate that word, and I do not use that word. And to hear somebody saying that and, like, saying it towards another person, especially another female, just, like, really pissed me off. And it was horrible. I do have to say I liked that Anna stood up for Meredith even though they were in a fight and not on speaking terms. And I love that she punched the girl in the nose and broke it. Because I was like, yes, that's what we need. And I like that she defended her friend and was... Although I do think she should have told the student advisor or whatever that guy was that pulled them apart, and also the head of the school, what the girl said, so that she would have gotten in more trouble than she did. but you know, I see why she didn't want to say it, because she didn't want to get back around to Meredith of what was said about her. Overall, I just found Anna like really annoying and like immature for a lot of things, and just the whole cheating aspect of this book just really pissed me off and like sucked out my enjoyment of this book. The romance in this book is very cutesy and fluffy, and you know, everything somebody wants in like a cute like romantic book set in Paris, France, but I couldn't quite enjoy it because in the back of my mind, everything that was being said, I was really pissed because it was cheating, especially when it was all cheating, and it was so annoying. And even towards the end, after Etienne had broken up with Ellie and went after Anna, like, I still had problems, even though I know, like, technically he's free and so they can do whatever. I still had problems because I was thinking back, like, this is, like, all that shit you've done in the beginning of the book. And then it also makes me think, like, you cheated on Ellie, what's gonna stop you from doing that to Anna? And I don't know, I just really did not like this book. The cheating really took it out for me. Anna was very annoying towards the end, and the way she was handling a lot of things, everybody was very immature. But again, it was one of the things that I had to kind of remember, like, they're still in high school, they haven't really been out in the real world and had to deal with things. Those are a lot of the negative things. Let's talk really quickly about some of the positives of this book. I really did enjoy the setting of Paris. As I mentioned, I've been to Paris, and when I went last spring, it was very rainy and cold, and I had been traveling already from other countries to get there, and I was on my period, so like I was not having it, and I had to get up fucking early every single day, and like none of us were having it. So that kind of like dampened my enjoyment of the trip. I feel like I want to go back, but I would like to plan for a better time and like actually enjoy it. I did go to the very top of the Eiffel Tower though, and that was terrifying because I'm terrified of heights, but I did it. Like, we went up, I walked out onto the observation deck, looked over, took some photos, and walked back down, and my friend's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm gonna stand down there where I don't feel like I'm falling off the top and about to like have a panic attack. But I enjoyed seeing Paris. I loved getting to interact with that and like the language and just a bunch of other things. I really like the main friend group we do get to see in this. We do have people from different areas that are all friends. I really liked that they were very opening about letting Anna come in and like helping her like adjust to being in France and everything. Like, I really did enjoy that because it's nice, especially moving to a brand new school. Your senior year of high school has got to be hard. Moving to a new school at any age is hard, but I feel like definitely being your senior year after you've like established your life and your friend group and all of your stuff at home, and just uprooting your senior year of high school would be really hard. I really enjoyed seeing that friendship, and like it was just really nice until, you know, everything kind of goes to shit towards the end and like everybody hates everybody else. So yeah, those are pretty much the only things I liked about this book. I had a lot of problems with it. The cheating is the biggest part that I had a problem with, as you can see. Like, it's literally the entire book, and it's just not okay. It's never okay. That's about it for my thoughts on this book. If you've read it, let me know your thoughts down below, whether they're positive or negative. Do you agree with me? Do you don't? Like, let me know. We can chat about it in the comments. That's it for this book talk, and I've been talking way too much. And yeah, so I'm gonna go now. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Bye!